Hey guys, welcome to the Crypto Lab with Alex daily update. I've been talking about the streams. We're going to include more of these daily updates for you. So thank you for being with us. This is Crypto Lab featured by Trading Analysis. So we cover stocks and cryptocurrencies and also the macro outlook. I'm gonna do a Dogecoin since it has become a widely popular. Um, uh, Recently, it has been quiet for some time, also because of the Elon Musk Twitter takeover, and Dogecoin was one of the coins that Elon Musk has been mostly trying to put into his ecosystem. It has not been done so far, but it doesn't mean it will not go into the ecosystem of the Elon Musk, maybe on a Twitter, some payments over Doge or something like that. We will see that. We're going to discuss this chart in details and also the XRP chart. So I'm going to present how do I see them. You can of course leave your comments and in the chat box and some requests if you have concerning these two charts. So can you just confirm that the stream is okay? Just say hello to see who is on the stream if you like on the chat box, and we can start to look the charts. Let's start with the Dogecoin. I have a longer term chart here. There has been a couple of different data according to the various platforms. I'm using the crypto compare feed. So I'm going to glare this chart for you so you can see it more kind of a close-up. Let's dive into it. As you know, probably if you are following the Crypto Lab or if you are new, our main analytical tool that we use is the Elliott Wave analysis combined with usual technical analysis add-ons. So we use multiple kind of methodologies either to confirm or actually to look at the market through the different lenses. So as you can see, I have outlined here a possibility of a five-way move on a Dogecoin. So let's start from the beginning of around January 2015. So as you can see, this something which happened before. We usually do not include because this was probably either the introduction of a coin and back and forth moves up and down, but we usually start from the last lows and try to count the beginning sequence, which we usually call a first impulsive sequence in a possible five-way move on the upside. So this is the weekly chart. Weekly charts are good if you want to look at the longer term orientation. And as you can see from the beginning here, I have outlined a five-way move. There is a couple of things here. First, one of the Elliott Wave rules is the wave 4 cannot enter the territory of the wave 1 except in a leading diagonals. So here we have a nice beginning five-way move on the upside. I have marked that with the labels. These labels are usually only for the orientation one. So what we try to do here with the Elliott Wave, we try to identify two biggest corrective moves and actually time the possible wave 3 and wave 5 on the upside. So this is what you are seeing here. And there is a couple of guidelines. Usually when the wave 2 is complex, the wave 4 will be more simple and it will take less in time. As we can see the possible example here, so I will go in a depth just in a couple of seconds. Just want to pay attention on this second wave, which actually came down to let's see retracement levels here. So it came around 50% retracement from this 5 move on the upside, as you can see, and from there we have a sharp rise. Which we usually call a third wave, and that third wave on the upside, as you can see here, it is labeled by the orange wave 3. That's a kind of a primary impulsive wave. So we also have a couple of fib ratios which we look for the wave 3 development. So we have been moving on the upside in a vertical manner, which is also one of the features of the third wave. It has its own, every of these partial fractals has its own character. And for the third wave, we usually see a verticality, which means that the angle of ascent is around, let's say, from 80 to 90 degrees on the upside, which is very visible here. Of course, we need to subdivide a third wave into a very visible 5-wave move, which is not very difficult here. You will see a wave 1 up, wave 2 down, a nice 5 waves up in a wave 3, pullback, small pullback in a triangle in a wave 4, and the wave 5 on the upside, which reached a little bit above 100%, which means that this also can be measured as in a equal sequences, because it's just a little bit more upside of the equality. What we seek usually for the third wave is 1618 projection, which is a golden ratio, of course. So it is the question how we can actually interpret this correction on the downside. So there is a couple of waves and the ways. I will show you that also now. So if we take a hypothesis that this is a full impulse wave developing on the upside in a 5-wave sequence, we have to consider this consolidation down as a correction in a wave 4, okay? So there is a couple of things here. So wave 4, usually when you have a wave 2 complex, it's going to take less time, usually around 0.618, which is one of the also derived golden ratios in a time manner, which means that this will take a little bit less than same time when you have a wave 2 to be a complex of a nature, as we can see here. So how did I interpret what has been going here? Is the 5 waves down in the leading diagonal in A, a big triangle in a B wave, and 5 waves down in a C wave. So what is happening now in the Dogecoin? Also, usually we look these base channel support levels. As you can see here, it plays a couple of roles. Especially here in a wave 4, smaller wave 4 correction, we stop there as a support, and then we continue on the upside, and now we found the same support level here at the same base channel. Usually you derive a base channel when you put the beginning of the wave 1 and the end of the wave 1 and just leave it on the chart like this. It could provide a solid support for the fourth wave, and also we have a 38.2% retracement of this wave 3. So that's how we measure. So usually you will go a 50% or 38% is most likely. There has been a statistic over the last 50 years, and most of the waves 4 in some form or the other will retrace 38.2%. So there is a couple of significant things that we are looking here on a Dogecoin. So what we lack here is an impulsive move on the upside, which we usually look for the beginning of the higher degree sequence in the next progression in the wave 5. So if we go and if we enlarge this chart and go on a daily, you will see actually that this correction was very dreaded one. You can see that it lasted pretty long time as the wave 2 was pretty big. But from there, you will see a possibility that this is a small wave 1, a big flat in a wave 2, and we are potentially starting to see a 5-wave move on the upside. So let me just remove this ratio so you can see the picture clearer. So we have broke this pretty important corrective channel. So whenever you have a break of a corrective channel, you have to be suspective that the new potential impulse is developing on the upside. That's kind of a very good sign. And the next one, what we have to see is a full 5-wave sequence, which we still don't see. Okay, so I've published that on my Twitter. And if you see here on a weekly, I'm addressing that we don't see still 5 waves up on the upside. Okay, so what we need to see in the next sequence on the upside in a Dogecoin is that actually we just correct a little bit in this wave 4, and then we continue up and we see a full developed 5-wave sequence, which will be a significant sign that after a pullback, Dogecoin might further continue up in the ABC, or the C wave will continue to progress on the upside as a third wave, which will be, of course, a significant move on the upside. So whatever you have, a 5-wave sequence after a correction, it's either going to develop in a more complex correction, but with the ABC move on the upside up to 0.48 or 0.6, usually around this region, or it's going to continue further up in a third wave, which will be a significant move on the upside above 1 on a Dogecoin. So what I think it's important on a Dogecoin is that we see a full developed 5-wave sequence, and then after a small pullback, which we usually label as an ABC or WXY, dependent on the nature of the secondary wave on the downside. We can also throw some potential fib ratios. Usually secondary waves retrace 50 or 0.618 retracement levels, or either even 786, which is the last resort levels where we look to potential secondary or B wave corrections on the downside. So what we need to see here for a further confirmation actually that the Dogecoin is going to continue on the upside, that we see a pullback, which is already kind of a forming. If you go on a smaller time frame, maybe it's going to extend a little bit. So this secondary wave was very long in duration, so we can maybe even consider that this will last some time, maybe even into some type of a triangle or anything else. But what is important is actually that we don't see this wave count invalidation, so that we don't see this price from a Dogecoin moving further lower below this 0.0787. So this is something we don't like to see if we want to continue to actually look Dogecoin as an impulsive move. So what I will be, of course, very glad to see is that we correct a little bit in this fourth wave, and we continue in another 5-wave sequence on the upside in this fifth wave, which will actually mark a first potential impulsive wave, either in a wave A or in a wave 1 of the further future uprise of the Dogecoin. After that, you can expect a corrective pullback where your risk reward, at least for our members, will be acceptable actually to try some potential trades on a Dogecoin on a further on the upside. Of course, this is not a financial advice. We are just managing risk this way at Trading Analysis. I don't like to be involved first until I see a confirmation, and then some type of a 3-wave pullback, where my target will be around this, depend how this A wave and the C wave develops and how I can measure them and actually get a Fibonacci cluster for a potential support levels and the further developments on the upside. So it's not still time to be to the moon. We cannot still use a sentence to the moon on a Dogecoin until we see a fully developed 5-wave sequence. And of course, that is also not guaranteed. After a 5-wave move, we can see a C wave, but that will be also a substantial move. Let's say that this will develop something like this, that we can actually use equality, so it will be 0.53. Provided we see a 38 or 50% correction, somewhere around that level. So this needs to be tracked carefully, but actually a 5-wave sequence will almost imply that we're going to continue further on the upside. So if you have any questions in regards of a Dogecoin developments, you can leave it on the chat box. I will be glad to explain this further for you. So let's move on the XRP. There is a different platforms with the different feeds on the XRP. I have 2 of them. Actually, this one is that I'm tracking currently right now. On this Crypto Compare feed on the XRP, we don't see a following price action from the beginning. I have it here on the different chart. This is a different feed which actually portrays what has been happening before on the XRP. So usually when we see this price action before, we will usually disregard it in the analysis. So we're going to take this first sequence, which is also a kind of a different than a crypto compare feed. Crypto compare feed, I think, has a little bit more a price action which kind of appears with the wave 2 than this one. So I'm most likely going to take a crypto compare feed for this wave 2. It makes a little bit difference, but not much. So if this is some type of a complex correction in wave 2, we can still depict this as a very sharp, very vertical wave 3 on the upside. I have been mentioning this verticality on the wave 3 in the Dogecoin, so that is a character of the wave 3. We want to see a 90 to 80 degrees angle on the upside, small correction, then a further continuation on the upside. So this kind of a matches this description of the third wave. And the post third wave, we have a 3-wave correction in all of these sequences before. So my base premise or a hypothesis is that this is a triangle. When you have a triangle patterns, and of course this is still a hypothesis, but I think a very solid one in this current environment. Every leg in triangles can be of a simple or a complex nature. Usually it is one of them, and it's kind of a drags over time, makes crazy many traders who wants to be long or short. And it is something which usually you would like to avoid trading. But as I see here, it's kind of a compose here an energy, potential energy outburst on the upside when we see a macro levels or a macro conditions align with the potential next upside on crypto. So I'm monitoring this in a triangle manner. In a sense that we are in some type of a D wave on the upside. I'm looking at smaller time frames, but the overall, I think this is a triangulation with a couple of legs more. Every triangle has 5 legs in it, and it can be in a B wave, X wave, or a 4th wave position. Wave 4 in a triangle or a triangle as itself cannot be in a place of a wave 2, just in a wave 4 or in some corrective patterns, as I said, in a wave B or a wave X. So for now, I'm following this wave count invalidation, which means that my hypothesis that this is a triangle will be nullified, which the price action has to go below this level, which is a pretty far. It's around 0.1138. I'm tracking this, and if I see a 3-wave move up to this D wave, most likely this will end in some type of a smaller E wave before we go up around March 2023 in a 5th wave on the upside. So XRP is, we can all see it is in a sideways consolidation. So the triangle is kind of a best guess. I think in the different case, if you want to look more downside, this will be some type of an ABCX, down in A, up in B, down in C. But I think in that case, the 4th wave will be too long to be in accordance of a guideline in this time looking alternation. 2618 is the last levels, and this aligns around February, March of 2023 as a last resort ratio, which will look in a time relation between the wave 2 and a wave 4. So I'm going to track that and of course address that in the Crypto Lab. If you like to subscribe and like the video, of course you will be notified for the next daily updates, and I'm going to track Dogecoin and XRP and mention them on every Thursday on the Crypto Lab if I see some significant developments or in the new update. So I hope you liked this analysis, and let me see some comments. I don't see many comments there. Binance Coin. Yeah, Binance Coin is still, I think, in a nice pattern, which I think it's still going to move on the upside. Let me just find my original feed from where I looked the Binance Coin, which is on the Binance feed. Let me just look. How do I see a Binance Coin? Yeah, we have been looking at Binance Coin to continue further on the upside. Relatively, it is pretty much visible. There is a wave degree invalidation. When we look the wave, primary wave 1, 2, and 3, and secondary intermediary wave 2, there is no actually wave degree invalidation. These two waves, this one is a little bit deeper than this one, which qualifies us to actually mark this on the Binance Coin for the actual developments on the upside. So let me just see what happened here currently. Let me just move to a different chart. Something has happened on the multi-wave platform. So I do see this as a potential 5-wave up development, still ongoing. So this current developments here still is within the potential corrective 4th wave. As you can see, the wave 4 and wave 2 are pretty much in line. From the time analysis perspective, we are close around 138 or 1618 here. So this needs to develop into a fully 5-wave sequence on the upside for the wave 5. So this is still not something which can confirm that this still can be in some type of a flat 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and a pullback. And from there, I will be ready potentially to look for Binance Coin also around, let's say, January, February, to continue further on the upside. So I'm still looking what's going on there. So February, March of 2023, as I look the many assets classes, my timing for the next bull run. I might be wrong, of course, it have been wrong many times, but currently I'm looking this time ratio in a Bitcoin and also Ethereum. We might start go up earlier, depends on the monetary conditions, but currently I do see this outplay as a potential move in Binance Coin on the upside in the next move. So we are paying a very big attention on it, and for now it looks that it develops relatively nicely. So thank you guys on the joining the stream. So we're gonna cover a couple of other cryptos on Thursday. So this has been first or second daily update. So if you want to subscribe, please do. I'm going to do more these daily updates more frequently. And also, if you want to join us, you can visit Trading Analysis, where you can have a trial on a crypto service. We have an extensive crypto service with our members, weekly webinars, live crypto streams, and also trades. So be free to check us out and join us. So thank you guys for joining me. I also publish a lot on my Twitter page, so if you want to follow me, you are free to do so. So see you guys next time on Thursday. Bye bye.